Tonight, 4 in the Corner, we're going to give you new perspective on a grisly murder of a Buckingham man in this neighborhood. And there's also talk of a troubling motive, possibly in this case. Last month, Ted Lee killed inside his home in this neighborhood, and then his body was dumped behind a dumpster in a church parking lot north of us in Manatee County, Bradenton area. Jonathon Ruffini, Hunter Tyson, and a 16-year-old girl who claims she had been the victim of Ted Lee in terms of sexual abuse in the past are each being held on second-degree murder charges. And there are now questions about whether that abuse claim could potentially influence the girl's court case. 4 in the Corner's Deborah Souverain taking that question to a legal expert, not associated with the case, but to give you some overall perspective. Deb?
Patrick, the girl who's charged with murder claims she was sexually molested by the victim for half of her life. An attorney I spoke to today says if this claim turns out to be true, the state could take a second look at the murder charge she's facing. The final moments of Ted Lee's life played out like a nightmare.
He had a knife collection, which in turn was used for a cutlery session on himself. It's horrible.
His neighbor Don was shocked after seeing these arrest warrants for Hunter Tyson and Jonathon Ruffini, detailing how sheriff's deputies say the pair beat and stabbed the 58-year-old to death inside of his Fort Myers home.
Ted had sort of a baseball bat for protection and security, and that in turn destroyed his head, his brain, his mind.
The warrant says Tyson armed himself with the victim's baseball bat, and Ruffini armed himself with the victim's knife. They told detectives they killed Ted because Ruffini's girlfriend, a 16-year-old who once lived with the victim, asked them to. Her reasoning, she says she'd been an ongoing victim of sexual molestation from Ted Lee ever since she was 8 years old. An attorney not associated with the case says this claim, if found to be true, could influence the case.
There is such a thing called prosecutorial discretion, where a prosecutor can look at all of the factors and surrounding evidence and information to determine what an appropriate plea offer may look like to try and resolve the charges.
The 16-year-old girl is also charged with second-degree murder. Last month, when we spoke to her step-grandfather, he had no idea why she would ever want to hurt Ted.
Why do you think they would kill him?
I don't know. I don't know. I know I called 911 and seen the two guys drag whatever, body or whatever.